it's the art of bombing.
Last time I came down to Sioux Falls, I jumped on my motorcycle. I came down here for a Sunday morning breakfast at MB Haskett's. Yeah. There was a waitress there that really caught my attention because she had pants that fit. She was crouching down, she was reaching up, she was working the tables, and her pants stayed exactly where they were supposed to. I live in a house with 3 women, so finding pants that fit is a big deal. So I wanted to ask this woman about her pants, but I'm a 51-year-old fat guy, and I am not allowed to ask 19-year-old college girls about their pants. So I saw this 40-year-old woman sitting off to one side. I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, could you do me a favor? I'd like to get more information about that waitress's pants." And she looked me up and down and said, "I have a taser." So he tased the waitress. Checked the tag on her pants. It said guess, so we still don't know.
Yeah, that one is painful. It still haunts me. Boss's Comedy Club in Sioux Falls, when they're at the Ramkota there, and it's a massive, massive room, and all the chairs and tables are all set out, and about 15 people come to the show. I'm in the feature spot, and Luke Johnson goes up, and he's just a great host, and he fired the 15 people up, and then he calls me up, and from the stage, all 15 people in the room are beyond the lights. So I've got the spots on me and this massive room and all 15 people. There's like 6 off to my right somewhere that I can't see in the darkness, and another 6 off to my left that I can't see, and the rest are way back straight up the middle, and I cannot see or hear anyone. And I go into my set. Now, some comics who really have their stuff together, they could perform for an empty room as if it was Carnegie Hall. And I'm not that good. So I was completely lacking any and all audience feedback and started stammering and stumbling over my material. And I was short on time. I think it came in at a little over 20 minutes. And again, I was aiming for 30. But if they were laughing, I couldn't hear them. And I know the material where there was some laughter, but I'm sure I started on to the next bit right while they were laughing, stepped all over the laugh pauses because I could not hear them. I could not see them. And Luke thought it was hilarious watching me melt on stage. Comics are the funniest thing to other comics is watching each other tank. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're cruel to each other like that. Our favorite thing is watching another comic bomb like right in front of our eyes.
Yeah. So Luke didn't hold a grudge, but yeah, it was painful. And then, I got off and the headliner went up, and he didn't have a great set either. It would have been better if the lights were up where I could at least see everyone, but he didn't have a great set either. But yeah, the lights were strong, the room was huge, and the audience was small, and I did not have the skills to perform without that audience feedback.
I mean, when you have a bad set like that, what are you trying to do to learn from it and get better?
Well, I'm trying to understand that if I've performed the same set successfully in front of an audience where I've got feedback, I should know the timing so that I can assume they are laughing, whether I can hear them or not, and pause appropriately. And if you can't hear the audience, then just go through your own head, okay, I can't hear the audience. And I practiced the set into a microphone and a recording device in my garage many times. Well, do that. Put the same effort of performance into it, but understand and just be aware that you cannot rely on audience feedback. The audience feedback has to be imagined, and you have to remember it because you've done this material in front of live audiences. You know where it's going to hit and what's going to hit and how much time you need to pause And if you need to actually count in your head 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, then do it.
But I used to travel a lot by motorcycle. I traveled all over the countryside with guys by the name of like Butch and Dutch and Bandit and Muskrat and Lefty. Yeah, I love those guys. I learned a lot of rules about nicknames. I learned rule number 1, you're not allowed to give yourself a nickname. Otherwise, everyone would be called Bandit. Rule number 2 is never ask for a nickname or you'll get a bad nickname. Just ask Syphilis Eric.